Welcome to Dichroic Alchemy's Dichroic Image Marble tutorial, demonstrated by DA's master glass artist, Turtle. Today we are using a B-sized image from the image sample pack called Sacred Geo Mix 3. In order to prevent bubbles or scuzz during encasement, use the paper towel to clean the image of any dust, dirt, or oil. Place the image chip on your L-marver or carbon pad, dichro side down. You'll want to use a flame approximately the same size as the image. Turn the oxygen high enough to make the flame transparent. This is called an oxidizing flame. Use the 6mm punty to clean the end of the 16mm rod. You'll want to remove bubbles or scuzz to create a clear lens on the image. Work the glass in the middle to back half of the flame. Heat the end of the 6mm punty to white hot and press it straight down on the top right corner of the image chip. Use the L-marver to bring the image in line with the punty. This small gather created by the punty gives you an easy visual cue to distinguish the glass side from the dichro side of the chip. You may want to switch the image to your non-dominant hand. Preheat your image using the very back of the flame on the glass side of the chip. Begin building heat in the end of the 16mm rod. Only heat enough to round the tip without gathering more glass. This will be the lens of your marble, and you don't want to make it bigger than your image chip. Before you press the lens on the image, bring the L-marver to a level angle to ensure an even smash and to center the lens on the image. Bring the lens to white hot. Remove it from the flame and begin a count of 10 while keeping the image warming in the back of the flame. On the count of 7, place the image on the L-marver, dichro side up. Line up your 16mm rod over your image, and on the count of 10, smash the lens straight down over the entire image. Only press enough to come to the edge of the chip without spilling over and leaving the corners of the chip visible. Once the glow of heat is gone, the glass is stable enough to break off the punty. Reduce the propane to make the flame about the size of the image corners. Use the punty to remove the corners of the chip. Remove the image from the flame and allow it to cool enough that it no longer glows. Make sure to clean the punty of excess material before smearing the seal closed. Gently heat the end of the punty rod to round it, making sure not to boil or catch bubbles. Place the edge of the cool marble into the flame without spinning it. When the surface starts to glow, drive the punty straight into the seam where the image and lens meet. Keeping a firm pressure on the punty, begin spinning the marble away from you. The flame needs to stay focused on the marble edge, keeping the punty above the flame enough to remain firm in order to avoid catching a bubble around the image. This step protects the dichro from burning out around the edge. Use the carbon paddle in the flame to smooth any rough or uneven surfaces. Starting flat against the back of the image, gradually following the slope of the marble and finishing around the edge. Doing this step in the flame keeps the surface workable, while the carbon paddle draws heat away from the core, which keeps the image from burning out or distorting. Then, using the corner of the L-marver to brace the front shoulder of the marble, use the paddle to press the back of the image flat. Look at your image to check how well it is centered. Pulling across the edge, remove any excess material to fine-tune the centering. Let the marble cool while building heat in your onyx rod. When the end of the rod is glowing white hot, press it into the center of the marble and begin to spin the marble toward you. Smear the color around the seam where the color meets the marble, keeping the rod centered over that seal to chase out any air pockets. Use a firm pressure on the rod and keep it half in the flame, with the back half cool. This will help control the amount of material applied and gives you the leverage to chase any bubbles from the seam. Again, you will use the paddle in the flame to smooth the ridges of the color wrap down. Start in the center and gradually slope with the shoulder of the marble, finishing around the edge. Using the marble mold slightly larger than the marble you have, roll the marble in the mold at about a 45-degree angle to set the curve of the back shoulder. Using a cold seal, attach a 6mm punty to the center of the back. Adjust your torch to a sharp cutting flame. Leave plenty of glass on for the lens when you cut the rod off the marble. You can always remove excess material later if the lens is too large. Begin shaping the lens by focusing the flame where the pointed remnant of the rod meets the shoulder of the lens. Using the paddle in the flame, gently tap at the material from slightly varying angles to begin working it into a cone shape. Going slow and soft here will prevent catching a bubble as that material joins the mass of the lens. Continue rounding the lens in the marble mold. Polish any marks from the mold off the lens. And using a cold seal, attach a 6mm punty to the side of the marble. Then break off the punty from the back and polish the mark. If you are attaching this marble to another piece later, you can put it in the kiln at this point. Check out the Image Marble Reheat tutorial for instructions on reheating a marble for attachment. Use the marble mold again to finish shaping, then give it a final overall polish. Set the marble into the mold and break off the punty. Polish off the punty mark. Congratulations! Your marble is ready for the kiln.